Paul-Henri Damiba thought he was untouchable. A seaside mansion in Lomé, secret recordings of his rivals, spies paid in cash, a fallen ruler living like a king in exile. But on January 16, 2026, the illusion shattered. Togolese special forces stormed his villa. The former president of Burkina Faso, once the man pulling all the strings, was dragged out in chains and flown back to Ouagadougou. When his plane touched down, phones started ringing across West Africa. Because this wasn't just an arrest, it was a warning. January 2022, Damiba topples President Roch Kaboré, claiming he's saving Burkina Faso from jihadist chaos. People clap, the soldiers cheer, and Paris quietly nods approval. But 9 months later, the story flips. Captain Ibrahim Traoré leads a second coup, Damiba is ousted and flees to Togo. Everyone thinks he's finished, but he wasn't. In exile, Damiba was plotting. For years, Burkina's intelligence warned that the ex-president was funding attacks, sponsoring coup attempts, even collaborating with terror groups. Many dismissed it as propaganda, until the leaks began. And that's when things got dark. Damiba wasn't just hiding in Togo, he was running a shadow state. Wiretaps, informants inside Burkina Faso, deals across borders, he recorded everything, even his own allies. Classic dictator paranoia, arrogance wearing a mask of control. But that paranoia turned against him. When Burkinabe intelligence captured some of his agents, they cracked, gave names, showed receipts. And the very recordings Damiba made to protect himself became evidence against him. Interrogations uncovered the rot. In August 2023, one of his former ministers, Vincent Debogo, ex-minister of transport, was sentenced to 11 years for embezzling nearly $1.8 million. The same man had also served under Kaboré before the first coup. Corruption came full circle. When Damiba was finally overthrown in 2022, investigators found more than 50 brand new Land Cruiser V8s, all bought with public funds. And the question everyone's still asking is, who were they really for? Mistresses, sidekicks, lavish lifestyles, all paid for with public money. They lived better than nurses, better than teachers, even better than the soldiers risking their lives in the north. Think about that. While Burkinabe families were burying their dead after terrorist attacks, their president was buying luxury cars for his girlfriends. But it didn't stop there. The Director General of Burkina Faso's National Lottery testified in court that Damiba would personally call him, demanding cash. His defense? I couldn't refuse. I feared for my life. This man wasn't governing a nation. He was running a mafia disguised as a government. And the files kept stacking up, one revelation darker than the last. But the darkest chapter was Barcelogo, 2024. Hundreds of civilians, women, children, the elderly, slaughtered by jihadist militants. Burkina Faso's intelligence claims it wasn't just another terror attack. It was orchestrated by Damiba himself. Imagine that. A former president unleashing terrorists on his own people, not for faith, not for ideology, but for power. He wanted chaos to make Traoré look weak. He wanted despair to pave his way back to the throne. That's the level of betrayal we're talking about. And yet, for 3 long years, he lived comfortably in Togo, untouched, protected, untouchable, until January 3, 2026. Burkina Faso's government announced it had uncovered a coup plot. Several suspects arrested. Soldiers, businessmen, even civilians. One name stood out, El Haj Mahdi Sekond. He swore he was innocent, claimed he was just raising money for an old friend. But investigators checked his phone, and what they found shattered the lie. In one video, Sekond sits in a moving car, filming through the window. He's speaking in more, calm and deliberate, describing what appears to be the president's residence. Entry points, street routes, landmarks, even guard rotations. Every word, every frame, pure surveillance. And the driver? A police officer named Mumuni Sori, also arrested. Then came the money trail. Sekond had received $125,000, about 70 million CFA francs, from an Ivorian businessman named Traoré Abel Rama. Cash. No records. No paper trail. That's when the Burkinabe intelligence realized, this wasn't just a conspiracy, it was an international operation. The police officer didn't just drive the car, he was part of the plan. He accompanied Sekond to collect the money. And in return for his loyalty, Sekond made a promise. When the coup succeeds, you'll be rewarded. His prize? The position of Director General of Burkina Faso's National Lottery, one of the most profitable offices in the entire government. Because this is how coups really work in Africa. It's not only about ideology or revolution, it's about positions, privilege, and power. Everyone gets a slice if the gamble pays off. So Sekonde and Sori continued their mission. They scouted the president's compound, filmed every corner, analyzed every route. Then they sent the footage to a commando unit waiting for orders. The plan was simple. When the coup began, the strike team would storm Traoré's residence, take him out, seize the palace, and declare a new government. Meanwhile, from his luxurious hideout in Togo, Damiba would step forward as the returning leader. Except, it never happened. Because Burkina Faso's intelligence service had been one step ahead. They had the phone calls, the money transfers, the surveillance clips. They'd been watching for months. When the plotters finally made their move, security forces were ready. Arrests came fast. Confessions came faster. And just like that, the entire web collapsed. Now here's where it turns geopolitical. That $125,000, the payment traced to Côte d'Ivoire, wasn't random. It exposed something bigger. You see, Ivorian President Alassane Ouattara has been openly furious since Damiba's extradition. Why? Because Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger broke away from ECOWAS, the regional bloc he champions. They formed a new front, the Alliance of Sahel States, kicked out French troops, rejected Western control, and turned to Russia for cooperation. Meanwhile, Ouattara still stands in Paris' shadow, hosting French military bases, defending Western alliances, maintaining the old order. So when Togo handed Damiba over, it wasn't just a legal move, it was a declaration of allegiance. It said, "We've chosen our side." For 3 years, Togo sheltered Damiba comfortably. So why betray him now? Analysts say Togolese President Faure Gnassingbe faced pressure, from Burkina Faso, from the African Union, even from Togolese civil society. Keeping a man accused of treason and terrorism had become too heavy a burden. To stay silent would have made Togo look complicit. So on January 16, 2026, they acted. Damiba was in his seaside villa, probably convinced he was safe, when fate came knocking at the door. Burkinabe intelligence had it all, the phone calls, the bank transfers, the surveillance footage. They had been watching every move, patiently, for months. So when the coup network finally tried to strike, security forces were already waiting. The arrests came fast. The confessions came faster. And just like that, the entire web of conspirators collapsed. But here's where the story takes a geopolitical turn. That $125,000 traced to Côte d'Ivoire, that wasn't random. Because Ivorian President Alassane Ouattara has been seething ever since Damiba's extradition. Publicly furious. Why? Because Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger walked away from ECOWAS. The regional bloc Ouattara helped build and dominate. They formed a new front, the Alliance of Sahel States, expelled French troops, rejected Western aid, and turned decisively toward Russia. And Ouattara? He still stands in Paris's corner. He still hosts French military bases. He still coordinates strategy with the Élysée Palace. So when Togo handed over Damiba, it wasn't just about justice. It was a statement. Whose side are you on? For 3 long years, Togo had given Damiba refuge. So why the sudden betrayal? Analysts say President Faure Gnassingbe faced mounting pressure. From Burkina Faso, from the African Union, and from Togolese civil society itself. Harboring a man accused of terrorism and treason had become indefensible. To keep protecting him would have made Togo look complicit. So on January 16, 2026, they made their move. Damiba was in his seaside villa, relaxed, confident, perhaps convinced that history had forgotten him. Then Togolese special forces arrived. He was arrested, detained, and brought before the Court of Appeal. The verdict? A green light for extradition. And less than 24 hours later, January 17, Paul-Henri Damiba was on a plane to Ouagadougou. That's how quickly power evaporates. One day you're untouchable, the next, you're in chains. When the news hit, President Ouattara reportedly erupted in anger. Because if Togo could hand over Damiba, what did that mean for other Western-backed exiles hiding across West Africa? What did it mean for the old order? The network that's kept the region under Paris's shadow for decades? Everything is shifting. The rules that once governed West Africa are cracking apart. And no one knows what will rise from the rubble. January 18, 2026. Damiba lands in Ouagadougou, handcuffed, silent, and no longer the man who thought he could outrun justice. Ouagadougou, January 18, 2026. Crowds gather outside the airport. Some cheer. Others curse his name. Paul-Henri Damiba, once the man at the top. now a prisoner in his own homeland. He's taken to an undisclosed high-security location. No cameras, no visitors, no statements. Day 1, interrogation begins. Damiba tries to talk his way out. The cash payments? Just generosity, he says. Helping old friends, supporting families, being a man of goodwill. But his co-defendants don't play along. They admit everything. They weren't friends. They were assets. Paid informants reporting on military movements, cabinet meetings, even the public mood. And then comes the avalanche of proof. Phone logs, voice recordings, bank transfers, travel routes, surveillance clips. Every thread leads back to one man. Damiba is cornered. So what does he do? He closes his eyes and slumps in his chair. I haven't slept for 3 days, he tells the judge. Pretending to doze off, the same trick another coup suspect tried before him. But the Burkinabe investigators have seen it all. They've been awake just as long, cross-checking testimonies, syncing evidence, tracing connections. They're not letting him slip away this time. Then, something unsettling happens. Burkina Faso's intelligence network sends out a message, not through state media, not through the government, but through anonymous channels, encrypted accounts. It reads, "We are anonymous. We are Burkinabe. We do not forgive. We do not forget. We are among you. We eat with you. Expect us." Psychological warfare. A message aimed straight at the heart of anyone still plotting to destabilize the country. We see you. We're watching. And we're coming. The interrogation drags on for days. More evidence surfaces. More conspirators are named. And slowly, the full network comes into focus. Damiba wasn't just plotting from exile. He had eyes and ears everywhere. Inside the army, in ministries, police units, even intelligence circles. He was paying informants to track troop movements, funding attacks to spread fear, feeding chaos to weaken Traoré's government. And behind the curtain, whispers grow louder. Of foreign sponsors, of mercenaries, of powerful interests that thrive when Africa burns. Because in this game, chaos isn't just destruction. It's currency, it's opportunity, it's how coups are born. But here's the twist. Damiba won't hang. Why? Because before Togo agreed to hand him over, a deal was struck. Burkina Faso promised there would be no death penalty, even if he was found guilty of high treason. It was the only way Lomé would sign the extradition papers. And that decision has split the nation. Across Burkina Faso, frustration is boiling. Many citizens wanted more than handcuffs. They wanted justice in its most final form. But diplomacy had the last word. If Burkina Faso broke its promise and executed Damiba, it would destroy its credibility overnight. No nation would ever cooperate with its courts again. So the verdict is set. No firing squad, no gallows, life in prison. For some, that feels like mercy. For others, betrayal. Damiba now faces a mountain of charges. High treason, conspiracy against state security, terror financing, embezzlement, money laundering. If convicted on all counts, he'll spend the rest of his life behind bars. But the damage is already done. His former allies are confessing one after another. New leaks emerge almost daily. Videos of reconnaissance missions. Audio recordings from secret meetings. Bank transfers linking payments straight from Côte d'Ivoire. The Burkinabe media is broadcasting everything. This isn't just a trial, it's a national cleansing. A reckoning with the ghosts of corruption and betrayal. And beyond Burkina Faso, the region is watching closely, because this is no longer about one fallen president. It's about a system that's cracking apart. In Côte d'Ivoire, President Alassane Ouattara is reportedly furious. He's holding closed-door meetings with other West African leaders, trying to contain the fallout. He feels blindsided, humiliated, and above all, afraid of what this sets in motion. Because if a former head of state can be extradited, interrogated, and exposed before the world, then no exile is safe. No villa is untouchable. No French-backed politician can hide behind the old order anymore. Meanwhile, the streets of Ouagadougou echo with one demand: justice. For Barcelogo, for the failed coups, for the years of blood and chaos that tore the country apart. And in Lomé, questions swirl. Why did Togo protect Damiba for 3 years? And what changed? What pressure, what promises, made them finally give him up? Whatever the answer, one truth remains. The age of impunity in West Africa is collapsing. And this time, the people are writing the ending themselves. Was it pressure from Burkina Faso, from the African Union, from public outrage, or was it something deeper? Some analysts believe Togo simply read the signs. The alliance of Sahel states is rising. ECOWAS is losing its grip, and France, once untouchable in the region, is fading fast. Maybe Togo decided it was time to choose a side. And across the Sahel, one question now hangs in the air. Who's next? Because if Damiba can fall, anyone can. The old rules no longer apply. The age when exiled presidents lived comfortably in neighboring countries is ending. The age when French protection guaranteed safety is collapsing. A new order is forming, forged not in Paris or Washington, but in the dusty streets of Ouagadougou, Bamako, and Niamey. It's being written by a new generation, leaders like Ibrahim Traoré, who refuse to bow, who answer to their people, and no one else. Damiba thought he was untouchable. He believed distance would protect him, that Togo's shelter would last forever. He was wrong. Now, he sits in a cold cell in Ouagadougou, talking, names, networks, secrets. Because when you're facing life behind bars, loyalty becomes negotiable. But this is not the end. It's the beginning of something bigger, a reckoning, a revolution that's just getting started. Every corrupt leader, every foreign-backed puppet, every stabilizer hiding behind embassy walls should be paying attention, because the message is clear. You can run, you can hide, but sooner or later, they will come for you. Before you go, this video was brought to you by you, the members. No government funding, no NGO grants, no embassy influence, just Africans telling African stories. If you believe in independent Pan-African media, join the membership below, because the next truth we uncover might depend on your support. This is Truth Fire Africa, the voice of a rising continent, the fire they can't extinguish. Until next time.